Hi, I'm Andre from Mezmo. Today we're going to talk a little bit about telemetry pipelines and more importantly, what most companies get wrong about telemetry and how we can go ahead and fix some of those problems using a simple playbook. How we can route, alert, rehydrate, and what each one of those means and how you could put it into practice. Ultimately, how you can not lose the visibility that you need, but not break the bank while you're doing it. Let's jump in. We know that telemetry volume is climbing roughly about 35% a year industry wide. On cloud native services, it's close to doubling, but the headcount isn't. So we're dealing with more observability data, and it's also a lot more expensive for us to manage. A recent Honeycomb report puts us at 15 to 25% of infrastructure spend. Gartner says more than half of that just goes to logs. The alerts actually coming out of this data, it shows in a 2026 SRE survey that fewer than 30% are actionable for most teams. And 70 that means that 70% of that is noise. 83% of engineers admit that they at least ignore alerts sometimes. So the signal is obviously buried in volume. We typically store everything and then query later. And that model was built for when data was a lot less and a lot easier to manage. And now we really need to adopt a different paradigm to scale. Let's talk about the shift that's needed. In yesterday's model, where we stored everything and queried later, every byte of telemetry data would typically hit some kind of index storage. And after that, we would typically just query through the noise. And what was the result? Well, not only did our observability bills go crazy and they ticked up the gigabyte, we also had an impact in our MTTDs because we had more data and it was taking longer for that data to ultimately get indexed and be usable and for monitors to trigger. And it wasn't because the data itself was harder to use, but oftentimes because of all the processing that was needed in place in order to actually get that result of knowing something's wrong. Let's talk about today's model. Today's model really enables us to decide what matters and ultimately how we store it. This is really where Mezmo's telemetry pipelines come into play. They sit between your sources and destinations, and they shape the data that's in flight. We have the same five streams in. On the way through, the pipeline filters the noise, alerts and stream, routes signal to the index tier that's appropriate for the type of signal, and tiers the rest to cold storage at just a few cents per gigabyte. So we have the same types of insights, but we're having our bill, we're spending less on telemetry, and ultimately we can detect and respond faster. In the rest of this talk, we will talk about the three different things that we can do as part of that pipeline, how we can route data, how we can alert and stream, and how we can rehydrate it when we need it. Step one, route. We have to make sure that the right things get to the right places and that they're in the right shape when they get there. Three different things happen in this phase. The first thing, dynamic routing. It's rules based and it's content aware. Error logs go to your observability stack, audit events go to your SIM, debug logs go to cold storage. Your checks get dropped, depending on what you need from them. All from the same pipeline, all in the same set of routing rules. Two, we're filtering. We're dropping the verbose health checks that nobody reads. We're sampling the high volume debug logs at maybe 5%. And we're redacting PII at the edge before it even reaches the vendor. You really keep the signal that matters to you and nothing else. Lastly, log to metrics. This is a huge unlock for teams to use where we can convert high cardinality log events into pre-aggregated counters and histograms. The right shapes get a ton of compression, sometimes 1,000 to 1. If you've got a request line that's firing millions of times an hour, you probably don't need those million log lines. What you need is a counter, maybe a P99, maybe a histogram by status code. The pipeline does this automatically in flight and it ships you a metric, and those raw logs can just go cold into cheap storage. In production, this is what enables customers to see roughly 60% reduction in egress to their destinations. And it's not just from any one of these tricks, it's really from doing all of this together. Next, we alert. Most alerting today happens after the data is already stored and indexed, which means you're paging on something that's already happened. The latency between event and page is whatever your indexer takes and whenever your monitor takes to fire, usually minutes. We move that alerting into the pipeline. You define the rule once, a threshold, an anomaly, a pattern, or a composite. It fires the moment that the event passes through, sub-second. The same routing engine sends it to PagerDuty, Slack, a webhook, whatever you wire up. And there's really two consequences here. First, you have earlier signal. You're paging on the event itself, not a threshold computed 20 minutes after from whenever the data got indexed. Second, you stop paying to maintain a separate alerting platform on top of your storage tier. The pipeline does the routing and the alerting, one control plane. There's a third benefit that the numbers don't really capture. Your alert authors stop guessing. Patterns are easier to reason about than thresholds. And in fact, the 2026 reliability survey found that teams replacing stored thresholds with an in-stream pattern cut page volume by 60 to 80% without missing real incidents. So patterns are super powerful in alerting. Step 3, we rehydrate. The point of cutting egress isn't just to throw away the data, you need to tier it. First, your hot tier. This is the stuff that you query daily. Your errors, your key services, maybe the last 7 days. It's indexed, it's expensive, but it's fast. Next, your warm tier. Searchable storage. It's your sample debug, it's your last 30 days, it's a lot cheaper, it's a little slower. Last, your cold tier. This is your object storage. S3, GCS, Azure Blob Storage. It's usually cents per gigabyte per month. And it's great because compliance gets to keep everything, but your bill stops keeping everything. The unlock is a rehydrate. Say an active investigation needs the raw data. A customer incident from 3 weeks ago, one service, a 15-minute window. You pipe that window of cold data back through Mezmo into your destination. Same routing engine in reverse. You only pay for what you pull when you pull it, not for the privilege of holding it indexed for the 3 weeks on the off chance that you might need it. And that's really where the asymmetry makes this whole model work. Storage is cheap. Let's talk about the whole thing. We have our sources on the left, our apps, our hosts, your cloud, your SaaS applications. We have logs, traces, metrics, and events. They all flow into one place. Mezmo Telemetry Pipelines right in the middle. And we have 3 stages. First, we route. It's when we filter and transform, we drop the noise, we reshape the events into the right shape, we compress logs into metrics, then we alert. This is where we have that in-stream rule engine for alerting, where we could page on patterns the moment that the data passes through and triggers the pattern. Last, we're able to rehydrate. We're able to tier our data and recall what we need. We can take the approach of cold by default and only pull that data when we need it. Then we have destinations on the right. Color coded by intent. We have PagerDuty for alerts, Datadog or Splunk for the index signal, and ultimately a warm and cold tier that is much cheaper for that data to live in when we don't need it right away. We have one control plane, one place to define those routes, those transformations, those alerts, those tiers, not a bunch of different components that we need to set up separately. We can define it as code, we can version control it, and we can review into pull requests. The pipeline itself is now your new control point. It's not just where the data is residing in your observability stack. It's not just your SIM. It's not the storage where that data might be living in your cloud. The pipeline between them becomes where you control the destination, the shape of that data, and ultimately where it gets to the right place. Because that's ultimately the only place where you need to be able to uh, ensure that you are enforcing control and you're understanding how that data is passing through your environment. And there's an important side effect here that I wanted to highlight. That same pipeline not only shapes the data for where you might be consuming it today, in your observability stack, in your SOC, in your SIM rather, but it also shapes that same data for your agents. So those agents benefit from you processing this data through the Mezmo pipeline because that data is automatically shaped for them to consume through our MCP server. And so whenever agents are investigating any of that data, any of those logs, those traces, those metrics, they're able to access that full stream of data, even if it didn't make it to the observability solution where that ultimately resided into. That hot tier doesn't only become where your agents are looking for data. They can ultimately get data from the entirety of what's passed through the pipeline. So we have humans and agents ultimately operating on the same data, the same source of truth, and curated insights that are going to benefit them and burn fewer tokens. We've talked about the approach that Mezmo takes with our telemetry pipelines. Let's go ahead and jump into a live demo and we'll take a look at one of these pipelines in action. First, we see the overview of the pipelines in our environment. We can see that we're processing about 300 gigabytes of ingress over the past few hours here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like to create a new pipeline. Here I can go ahead and define the pipeline's name. I can determine whether or not I want to run it in our cloud or on the edge in your environment. Then I can choose a desired path if I wanted to go ahead and focus on log volume reduction or maybe routing it to Datadog. Now I have a few different ways that I can get data into the pipeline, but we're going to go ahead and focus on that in a moment. Let's jump into what one of these pipelines actually looks like. We'll go ahead and look at an existing pipeline and kind of break down some of the components here. First, we can see a canvas. We can see sources on the left, processors in the middle, and destinations on the right. Here we can see I have a bunch of open telemetry logs that are streaming into this pipeline. The first thing that I'm doing is parsing out something here as part of my in-stream processing where I'm mapping the message status to the appropriate value that I could use later. Next, I'm filtering out the errors, so I'm really just looking at the logs that are relevant to me. Now I'm turning those logs into a metric. So this is where I'm really saving the cost of storing those logs. And then I'm aggregating that metric into something that's useful to me. Next, I can see that I'm actually able to see the status of the pipeline. And I might want different behaviors based on what I'm currently going through. Like maybe I want to retain more of this data as I'm going through an incident investigation. I can choose my destinations, like triggering an agent, triggering a lot of different things here behind the scenes. Now, looking at some of these processors, I have a lot of different options. Anything from deduplication, redaction, aggregation. I have a lot of options to choose from that are easy to get started with. And similarly, on the sources side, I can pull data from just about anywhere, whether that's a Fluent bit integration, whether that's a random HTTP pull or HTTP push rather. I can send all that through the same pipeline. And I can do the same thing for metrics, traces. I can do it in separate pipelines and control those separately and expose those to different teams that's relevant to them. I could also put that in the same pipeline and make it easy to manage. Now, here we can see an example of me collecting data at the edge and then just utilizing the platform as the control plane. So that data never actually makes it into Mezmo. We're actually just using the platform here as a method of defining those pipelines, but ultimately the configuration gets sent to your systems where you're running the edge and processing that data in your environment. All right. So now we've seen an example of what these telemetry pipelines look like in my environment and what they could look like for you. Now we talked about all the different things needed to make a successful telemetry pipeline and how you can get them set up today.